emptied out my soul. You've heard it all before, honest but I know.
G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be working in my big old jumbo journal and I'm going to live narrate. So let's get into it. We're going to spend half an hour together. Hopefully you've got your journal and we can work alongside each other. Sorry this is a little bit late too. I did this after Zumba. I've had actually a terrible day. Nothing bad happened. I just had allergies that turned into what felt like massive sinus pressure, and it's just been a whole thing all day. And so I've had a lot of work to do, but you know when you're doing work and it feels like you're pushing it uphill and it's a lot. So I went to Zumba to try and like literally dance it out, and now I feel a lot better. I've just had a shower, so I feel like I'm okay. But yeah, today's been a wild one, so that's why this is a little bit late. Sorry about that. This is my big jumbo journal, which is basically 5 or so Trader Joe's paper bags that are assembled just to make a humongous journal. I don't know the dimensions on this, but it's absolutely huge. It like barely fits in the screen most times. So it's kind of taken the place of my garbage journals and my photo journals. Do you remember those? Those were a bit of a last year thing at this point because I started this first jumbo journal, which is actually finished now last Christmas, and it kind of became my Christmas big old journal. So I really loved that. I wanted to do it again. It's like such a big format. I can get a lot in there. And because the paper is really sturdy, like those, I mean, ironically, because I'm always complaining about the handles falling off, but those paper bags are pretty sturdy. And because they're kind of thin and I don't put a lot in there, it gives it a lot more room to kind of bulk up, which is the point of when you're going to do like a garbage journal, like a junk journal, you know, something you're going to add a lot of stuff to. You don't really want that many pages. It seems a bit redundant because when you spend money on a journal, you kind of want a lot of pages, but it actually is a lot better if you know you're going to stuff it full with stuff just to really go really light on the signatures. So these, because I make them myself, it kind of works out really well, and I can really bulk them up. And I do use a waxed thread to sew to bind them together, so it's pretty sturdy. And I have gone through. I actually have these sort boxes. I store my Etsy stuff back in that thing back there. You might have seen it at the start of the video. I have these stacked sorting boxes for washi tapes and stamp sets. So when I'm doing my Etsy orders, I can, they're pick boxes, that's what they're called. But they're just cardboard. I stole one of those. I have a bunch, but I stole one, and now I just put all of the stuff that collects around my desk into that at any given moment. So a lot of this trash that you see, it's just because I had that box there and I just throw it in here. Like if I got a sticker. This is not trash, but I don't really have a place for this right now. And I think, well, it's going to go in a journal somewhere. And if I didn't just put it straight into my planner or something that's just out, I'll pop it straight into, actually, your camera, you are sitting on top of that stack box right now. But I would just throw it in there. And then the next time I go to do my jumbo journaling, my jumbo junk journal, garbage journal, trash can journal, I will grab the box and use all of that. And so this is a really great way that I can kind of get a routine going, because I used to have just a whole bunch of stuff flying around everywhere, and I would save it for moments where I felt like, oh, well, I know what I'll do with this, and it never happens. 3 years go by and that same piece of paper is still just there. So now I've just gotten used to putting it all in the box, and then when I want to have my journal, I grab my box, I grab my big old jumbo journal, and I just go to town with it. And you can see I really don't discriminate. Like I'll put anything anywhere. Sometimes like a little bit of a theme develops and I kind of stick to that. Sometimes I really want to do a good job and like do a layout and everything. And then other times I just want to get the trash in there because I just need to get rid of it. The box usually gets full and that's my cue to start getting rid of it all. So here is just a whole bunch of stuff. And I say trash loosely because I know Steve got upset once when I called it trash and he found one of his cards in there, but it's not trash. Some of it is trash. It should be in the bin. But a lot of it's just stuff that doesn't have a place. It's unhoused. We just need to find a place for it. I make little notes all the time. Like I've always got a little notepad beside me, making a little note because I forget things so often. And it's so funny because I've got my journal right there. Like I should do it in my journal, but I just love using the post-it notes. So I use all the notes and then they don't have anywhere to be once the information is useless to me. I don't want to throw it away because maybe I might need that number in the future. I don't know. Or I just like to remember things. I like to remember the memories. So I stick it in this journal. The front, I am kind of putting lots of vinyl stickers on there, kind of like, you know, when you have a suitcase and you put lots of travel vinyl stickers on there. So whatever stickers I feel like are durable enough to kind of handle being on the front cover, because these get thrown around, I put that on there. A lot of that big, colorful branding stuff that you see were packaging that I got from my Outsiders division orders. It's clothing. I think it's in Spain. It's a really colorful, super niche. The brand literally says a brand for adults who never grew up. It's like very colorful. A lot of my favorite clothing is from there, and I think I said this before a while ago, but I've switched from buying lots of cheaper fast fashion type clothes but investing more money in better quality stuff. But not only that, but also things that are just really unusual, things that I wouldn't come across in a regular store. So a lot of that Outsiders division stuff is just wildly like color blocking. I have a leather bomber jacket that's all different colors. I have this really amazing knitted, like different lengths, everything. It's so good. I have this whole suit too, like it's a khaki. It's not like a suit. It's trousers and a jacket, but it's got all these embroideries that look like paint. It's to die for. It's called Outsiders Division. Go have a look if you're ever curious. But this is a spread that I decided I wanted to do, to actually do a spread. And this is because I had my Disneyland throwback night to document. I did this ages ago, actually. I don't know when this was filmed, but I sometimes just put the camera on when I'm doing things and I think I'll make a video of that later. So this is months ago, which is why I have to live narrate it, because I don't really know what I did, but I know what the page looks like. I know what I did. I like to, again, have this huge format because things like brochures, I can put the whole thing in there. If you remember my dilemmas in the past with travel journals, I've always had to kind of cut down the brochures. Or I use them to put all the photos in there because I need more space on the page or something like that. But with these massive formats, I can get all the photos on there. I got both wristbands on there from Steve and I. Even the lanyard that they give you, the specialty lanyard, I had just cut it up and stapled it on. I used my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. Love that thing. Love it, love it, love it. Like, would be on my top 10 list every year for suggested gifts for scrapbook or art journal type people. So cute, love it. And those little packets of staples last forever. So just tape. I use a lot of clear tape, clear packing tape in this. I will put washi tape over it if I feel like it, but oh, you know what? I think I just use it interchangeably, to be honest, because I just like the clear if I've got a lot of other stuff going on. And also, I don't really care. Like, I used to care about clear tape because I felt guilty I bought so much washi tape that I should use that, but I actually really like just using clear sometimes, so I let myself do that. And I got a whole bunch of photos. You know, I print my photos on glossy sticker paper. I think it's Koala brand. I always have an Amazon link in my description boxes of a storefront. I think it's my Amazon storefront, where you can go and find, like, actually, no, I don't know if I do. If I do, it's there. But if I ever link something, it'll take you to the suggested product. But I do have an Amazon storefront where you can see like all the things that I use. And I usually put them into categories, especially if I do workshops. I'll say like, these are the stuff that I'm going to use in this type of workshop. So it's all there. You don't have to buy it from there, but if you're ever curious about a brand, usually you'll find it in there. So this is all of that stuff. I have some junk on there too. You see that Yoo-hoo glue stick packaging. That's from France. I kept that. And I've been loving to put my photos on these printouts. Oh, this is from Collage Club, the big background pages, just so you get like a fine border around them. It makes them a little bit sturdier as well because there can be differences in the glossy photo paper. It's technically glossy sticker paper, but I just say photos because I use them to print photos. Some of them can be really thin, which if you put them over like, you know, layered paper, or you put them over like a join or a staple, you can actually see it underneath. So if you do make it a little bit sturdier, it's kind of like putting cardstock under there. It keeps it nice and flat, which I like for the photos. I don't like them to pick up all that extra whatever is underneath. Like, I don't like them to be all wrinkled and stuff. Sometimes it's inevitable, but if I can avoid it, I will do that. And I also love the extra little border of color around the edge. This is just a whole bunch of like scrapbooking, isn't it? I mean, I feel like it's art journaling because I get in there and I do my artsy bits and pieces, but in essence, like, this just feels like scrapbooking. I think maybe the size makes me feel like that because, you know, scrapbooking is like 12 by 12, like the original type of scrapbooks back in the day. So this, it almost feels like a 12 by 12 layout to me. But I used to put the scrapbooks that I would make, I would put them in those plastic sleeves. So I never made anything too interactive. That's what I like about art journaling. I love all the flips and the pockets and the envelopes and things that you can, you know, flip around. I love all that interactivity in my journals. I think other people like that too. When they look through it, they're always like looking behind things and picking things out and having a good time. So I really like that. I have these sheets from Art Journaling the Magic. This was a teacher trade that I did, and I did all the attractions, not all of them, but I think the Fantasyland ones. At Disneyland, I did the attraction vehicles, the ride vehicles, which worked out great for this because we were in Disneyland for throwback night, and I wanted to put the stuff on there, and we actually rode the carousel, so I could put that on the carousel. I mean, I've ridden the other rides before too, but if I can actually find a piece of ephemera that does match, that is better for me. Sometimes there's like hidden meanings in the ephemera that I'll choose that I don't just describe, but sometimes it's just random. If the colors suit the colors, if I just want to put stickers in there, I'll just put them in there. Even though this is a bit more of a, not a planned out spread, but I took more care putting this all together. There's one of my Collage Club folders. I still have that sense of freedom working in this jumbo journal because I know it's just a big old junk journal. Like, it doesn't really matter. Not that many of my other journals do, but I always feel like extra free and extra loose in these garbage type journals. I really, really love the small ones too. I feel like the difference with this one is that I do end up doing some actual journaling type stuff in here, some art journaling, some big old spreads and photos and everything, but the garbage ones, I think I just put garbage in there and just went crazy. So maybe they do still have a bit of a distinction between them, but for the most part, I don't actually have enough time anymore to work on all of them. I don't think I've ever had enough time to work on the amount of journals I choose, but right now, putting my Virtual Voyage 8 together, which will be in August. I don't have the exact start date to share with you just now. I'm figuring out a final few dates for the live streams, but it is in August, so be excited for that. You don't have to be, I'm excited. But yeah, I don't have time to do all the journals I want to do. So this one, kind of combining the photo journals and the garbage journals together, just really did work because I loved each of those individually, but I think this is a little bit easier to manage than to do both of those. The photo one particularly, because I would actually get a little bit more precious with how I put those together, because I just love the photos. I love looking at them, and so I felt like they were a lot more like important, those types of journals. And realistically, I don't mind if the photos are anywhere, and the best part about having them in this journal is that I can print them a whole lot larger. Like, I would really try to limit how many photos I would print big for my photo journal, even though I said when I started that, like, it's great, I've got a designated space for it, and it was, and I did print big photos for it. This, I actually don't have to consider it at all. Like, I can print it any size. It could be the whole 8.5 by 11, which I think I do in this. I think I just print out a whole page and just stick the whole page in this. So I think it is a little bit easier to do it in this jumbo journal. And this is kind of like the final stage in my process. Well, not really, not in this. Typically it is. I will grab the folders and I will start putting all my Collage Club ephemera in there, but I do go and color in those ride vehicles, so I must have been working a little bit out of order. And I don't have like a process like set in stone, but I think everyone kind of develops like a kind of creative process. Like, I like to piece it all together first. I like to kind of lay it all out first. I like to have my photos cut before I'm trying to put them anywhere. Like, I don't want to have all the photos I need to start with everything I can see. And then I like to go from bigger stuff to smaller stuff. I like to put all the things that are going to flip over and be stuck down and open up where they need to be first, so that I know I can put photos and everything in there. So I do have like a sequence that I work in, but it's not set in stone. And sometimes in, like, when I just want to be a little bit more free, I will kind of go against that sequence because just to shake it up a little bit, just to make my head feel like, you know, it's not an important thing to actually care about. But if I do want to achieve a certain result, like, that is kind of what I'll do. So you'll see right now, it just literally becomes words and coloring in little bits and pieces and little bits of ephemera, like little stickers, and it kind of does go from largest to smallest, and I don't really worry about any of the words and, you know, little extra bits of decoration until the end. I don't know if I put words on this page. I think I did. I think I put some stuff on here, but there's me coloring in all of the ride vehicles. I did like that they were uncolored, which I did in the art journaling the magic because I did want people to color them in and kind of theme with whatever they were doing. And because I was coloring them in for this spread, I used the colors of my jacket, my bomber jacket, to color them all in. So now they all kind of look cohesive and like they're a whole part of a set, even though they were black and white. And then I had some Disneyland washi tape. I got that from No White Space Stickers. That's the name of the company. They have a lot of great Disney type stuff. And that is that. Oh no, I did put more washi tape on it. Why not? I have a lot of their washi tape. It's really cute, but I go Disney overkill a lot. And I used to not, because I felt like whenever I shared anything, you always run the risk of like copyright infringement when you use branded things, or especially things from other stores. And but like in these big journals, I never work in these journals thinking I'm going to share anything from them. Like even if I do, I think like I'll figure out a way. Like I'll take a photo of it, I'll scan it, you know, I'll cut it up and put it in the scanner later, because there's just no way I'm fitting this thing in the scanner. It's huge. It's literally huge. I should measure it just so I know. But you know, a paper bag, like a grocery shopping bag. I was just at Trader Joe's yesterday, actually. Yesterday, the day before. It's funny now because I look at their bags and I think, oh, a journal. They don't really do any other seasonal bags. I'd love them to do another seasonal bag. Not that it matters because I cover it all up anyway. But the Christmas one, I used Christmas bags, like they were seasonal. These are just the regular ones. So it's funny that like it doesn't really matter because like I said, I cover it all up, but I feel like I know the difference. Like the other one does feel like Christmas to me because of the bags, and this one does feel like just a generic plain one. It's like, you know, when you use a traveler's notebook and it's got the limited edition cover, even though the inside is exactly the same, you're like, well, that's the special one because that has the traveler's factory train station cover on it. Excuse me, my nose is starting to go. Oh no! I told you I was having allergy issues today. What else is new? So this is a completely different day. This is a lot more recent. I used that bag that I got as a free gift with purchase, which I would never think is free. Like, I don't know why people say that. I never think it's free. I think you've just put so much profit margin in that you've actually made me pay for it. And I didn't want it, but I considered using it, and then I thought, no, I've already got cuter bags than this. Like, I would never actually choose this one over the other one. And originally I thought it was a flag. I thought it was a pride flag, but it's not. I think it's a gym bag. So anyway, I just decided to cut it all up and put it into my journal as a pride flag, and then use it to decorate for the Pride beach party thing that we went to. I don't know if that was last Sunday or the Sunday before. A couple of Sundays ago, I guess. They gave us these visors as well. I think you could get a free shot and then they give you a visor, or you could have just had the visor, but I had the shot anyway. It was fun. It was a really, really nice day, and we just went with friends and had a great beach day, and I was just documenting it, just getting it in there, getting all the memories in there. And because, like I said, I'm just going to repeat it until everyone's mad at me, but the journal is so huge, and it's so free of like bulk that you can just bulk it up and put everything and anything in there. Like, this is a bag and a hat. No, who's journaling bags and hats? I mean, is this a first? Sure, it's not. But I do have like a bit of a sick fascination with trying to put really bizarre things into the journal. The garbage journal kind of started that for me because I thought, like, what can I get in here? You might have seen at the start, I actually put one of my necklaces in there. It broke. And I love that necklace, but it was just a cheap little thing. And I wanted to remember it, and I thought, what a better way to put it in my journal. I put it in a little plastic thing and stuck it on the page with the head with all the junk around it. And now it's going to be a great memory there. That was the whole page that I printed. I was going to cut them all up and then arrange them, but I thought, I'm just going to put the whole page on. Why not? I loved that it was like a collage anyway. So that worked out well. This is from Collage Club for July, just the little sentiments. I had a few things that I felt like would really work. I love doing a photo shoot anywhere I go. So I feel like I'm always heavily stocked on photos. Never in search of a photo. Always have one ready. And I print out the photos really, really regularly. I would say I print photos maybe 2 times a week. I think I'm always kind of printing a batch of photos for something. My 5-year journal, sometimes I'll double them up. I always fill the page because I don't want to waste any paper. So I'll always fill the page. If I don't have anything else to put on there, I'll double them up. So then photos end up like I'll have triples. I'll have one for my 5-year, one for my junk journal somewhere, and then one for my planner, just if I want to put it. It's like a cute one of the kids or something, our nieces and nephews. Yeah, I love photos. My husband's a photographer, so I feel like that's a really good thing. Even though I take all the photos, I take all these, but I think it's good that I really care about that because I don't have to fake being interested in his photography. So anyway, they gave us out these beach flags. Did I tell you about that day? It was just a beautiful summer day. It was in Huntington Beach, which I'm not going to lie, I don't really go to that often because in my mind it's a little rough. I don't really know. I don't go to Huntington Beach too often, but I've been there a few times before, and I was really not considering going. I always say no before I say yes. I like to reserve the right to cancel. I'm very non-committal. Anyway, I did end up going. It was a great day. But yeah, we were just having photo shoots and having a drink and partying on the beach and then doing America's Next Top Model photo shoots, which is one of my favorite pastimes. I've always loved doing that. I feel like I don't have a good time at something if I haven't done a photo shoot. That's not true. It's just like a house thing. I don't really care. But if I'm going out to something, there has to be a photo shoot. What a waste. If I put something on, I need a photo in it. So yeah, that was just a whole bunch of stuff. This was a welcome home banner that Danielle did for us. She was minding the cats while we went up north. And there was another welcome sign. I got 2 welcome signs within a week. It was crazy. That little thing, that little 1,000 pound, 100,000 million pound note. There were, I don't know what denomination they were, but they were evangelizing out the front of the toilets for the bar that the gay pride event was going on at. I felt bad for them because I feel like I take that with a grain of salt. I don't feel bad. They knew what they were coming there to do and they gave it their best effort, but I just wanted it for the ephemera. I never try to engage the conversation because it's always like a bit of a loss to say like, no, I have my faith and I believe what I believe and I know it's going to fly in the face of what you believe, so let's not have this conversation and blah blah. Like I don't mind if they're not being angry and aggressive, then they're just out doing what they're doing. But I just always find it like I don't really know if that has ever worked. Do not get in the comments. I'm just literally going to engage with you on that. Just a thought that I had. I don't know if that's ever really worked, or if it has. Is it that successful that we're still doing it? I don't know. Anyway, they were out there, so I got my little ephemera. Thought that was what I thought was most interesting about it is that it was like British. It was a British currency. It had a picture of Charles on it, King Charles, which we're in America, so I don't. What are they doing? Who's the parent company of that denomination that they're giving out British pound $100,000 million bills? It was weird. Oh, I went to Porto's. I don't know if you know this, because I don't know this. Is it Portuguese? It might be. It's something. Peruvian? I want to say it's Portuguese. That's why it's called Porto's. Which to me sounds like Oporto, which is a burger that kind of... all I know is the burgers you can get pineapples on in Australia, which I love. I went to one in Buena Park. It's over by Knott's Berry Farm because I was doing a drug test over there because I'm doing all my onboarding for Knott's Berry Farm. Everything went great. Thank you so much. Had my little physical and everything. I have to go in and do my last little bits of paperwork next week. Anyway, I was over there and I thought, oh, this was actually after my audition. It wasn't even for that at all. This was after my callback. I went and I've always wanted to go because everyone's been talking about it. They have a line set up outside, like a Disneyland roped line that zigzags outside. It wasn't that busy when I went there that day, but I did go the other day after my physical because I loved it so much. I was like, Steve, I'm going to go back. Do you want anything? And then when I got there, they had the whole Disneyland fast pass system going on outside. I was like, not waiting in that line. It was a line to get into the store. The line was already too packed in the store. That's why it was zigzagging outside. It's a nightmare. But I mean, it's crazy because like some stuff in there is just really affordable. Here I was thinking like it must be some premium experience and everyone just really wants it and it's really worth all that. But it's a regular, like, I mean, it's good food, but they don't charge a lot. Like I think the little meat pie thing they had, or the little empanada thing I had was like $1.50 or something. That is so cheap. I don't even think McDonald's are doing $1.50 items anymore. So, or maybe they are, I don't know. Trying to say I don't know, like I don't go to McDonald's. No, I do. I just don't get those items. I'm never just buying one thing for $1. Definitely go to McDonald's. Now I really want McDonald's and I want Portos. I'm so hungry. I'm trying intermittent fasting just for a week or something. I don't really know why. I think I read somewhere that like your cells regenerate after, I don't know, 12, 13 hours. No, 14 hours. I think it's the 14 to 16 hour period where like your cells start to regenerate. And I felt like that might be good for me. I don't know, but it's just making me irritable because I don't want to be fasting for that long. Which would be fine if I could sleep through the whole fast. But it's not feasible to sleep for 16 hours a day. Try as I might. Anyway, so that was it. I went to Porto's. I had a great time there. And it tasted extra good because by the time I got home, I had an offer to work for Knott's Berry Farm, which I'm really loving. I'm trying not to wish the time away because I really need the time to be able to work on Virtual Voyage 8, and I'm really excited to do that. And I want to have a great summer and enjoy my birthday, which is in a couple of weeks. Like, I don't want to wish the time away, but I'm so excited to perform again that I do find myself just like tunnel visioned into September, which this is months away at this point. So I really need to stop. I think I don't know. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say anything, but that is my struggle for today. Sometimes I will go and write on the photos as well, like I'm doing here. The white ink, the Uniball Signo, works great for anything with a dark background. If it's anything with a light background, anything will kind of work on top of it. But the glossy photo paper, I think some people feel like you can't really work on top of it, but it is meant for an inkjet printer. And so anything that is ink will seep into it, but it won't be like drawing on top of something plastic. It kind of catches. It's like the paper wants to suck the ink in. So I find it pretty good with like gel type pens, but anything like a brush pen or anything where the ink kind of free flows out, it does feel like you kind of drag it across. It's not the end of the world. It's such a minor thing, but if I could just tell you anything about it, that's what I would share. This was really getting up my goat, this thing flying around. Every time I open these 2 pages, which Steve and I did together on Playtest Patreon, if you remember that, we did them side by side. That was an awful thing to try and film. You know why? Because it just, like, you can't move. Like, you have to do it like this the whole time. So, anyway, it was fun to do it with him, though, but it was terrible to work in the same journal. Every time I opened those 2 pages, all the chords and everything would get stuck on each other. So I felt like just at least adhering or stapling down that specific one, because that one used to fly around mental every time I opened the page. Felt like it might help. Who knows if it does, but I tried my best. Here is just a few more photos. There's that little necklace I said, the cross in that packet. That packet I've always liked too. It used to be full of stamps from the Traveler's Factory when I went to Japan years ago. I don't know why, but I've just always liked the little packet. I think just because it reminds me of being in the store, and I love picking up all the cute little things and just buying them. I don't know what it is. Why do we feel like that? But I never really wanted to get rid of that packet. I would use all the stamps from there, and I got right down to the end of the stamps, and I thought, what am I going to do with this packet? Like, I've seen it for years. I love it. It reminds me of Japan for years. So it was actually great use of that packet to put my little cross necklace in there and keep it nice and safe. I think at this point I just had a few photos I wanted to throw in before I had to stop my session. I love to take photos or the screenshot when I'm on FaceTime with my family. I don't know why. They're never good. They're never, I mean, I think I do know why, but like, does it need explaining? Probably not. We're always looking ugly. Like, the angles are always terrible, but they're just nice memories. I think I should probably FaceTime my family after this call, actually, because I just saw a photo of Sophia, our newest niece. She's a month old yet? No, May, June. Oh yeah, she's a month old. She's almost 2 months old. She's got red hair, full ginger. I've seen it in a real photo now. Orange eyebrows, orange fuzz all around her ears. and I need to see it. I need to see her on the video. I want my sister to do a full 360 of the dome so I can see this beautiful little ruby princess. We were convinced when Siobhan was pregnant the first time, we were convinced that she was going to have a little girl and she'd be a redhead. And so we'd call her Ruby. My mum would always call her Ruby Princess the whole time, which is a cruise ship, that I don't think either of us have ever been on. But then we were weirdly devastated when Elijah came. Oh, I've run out of time. I put an extra little bit on at the end. We were weirdly devastated when Elijah came just because we felt like, where was Ruby? Anyway, then Savannah was born. She's fully blonde, so that doesn't work. And then now I feel like we finally have our Ruby. So I think I'll go do that. I'll work on this and I'll get this out to you, but then I'm going to go call my family. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you soon.